Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Boobs Jeopardy?
I'm not kidding.
I'm your species-confused host, Candles well, we haven't quite figured that one out yet. Let me explain the rules. You pick the category, meaning I pick the category because it's just a video and not in any way interactive. And you'll have to answer the boobs-themed question that I throw at you. Answer correctly, and you give yourself the dollar amount specified. Keep track of your score, and at the end, you'll get to see where you rank on this completely arbitrary point scale. Now before we get started, let's take a look at the categories we have for tonight. We've got Nipples 101, Ancient Coconuts, Famous Breasts, Men's Choice, Miscellaneous 1, and of course, Miscellaneous 2. It's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get to it. Let's start with Nipples 101 for 200. Nipples can change color due to all of the following except hormonal changes, pregnancy, breastfeeding, or sleeping position. We'll give you a few seconds to think on it. That would be sleeping position. According to my source, nipple color can temporarily change due to normal hormonal shifts, pregnancy, sexual arousal, breast surgery, and breastfeeding. The same goes for nipple size and nipple texture. In fact, it's even normal for the color of your nipple and the color of your areola to be completely different. The areola is often darker than the nipple itself. Depending on your skin tone, the color can range from pale pink to dark brown. And as far as I can tell, the color of both your nipples and areola tend to be relatively consistent with your skin tone. Next up, Men's Choice for 600. Annie Hawkins Turner has the world record for the largest natural breasts. What is her cup size? That would be a 102 triple Z. This measurement sort of depends on where you're at in the world, since different regions have slightly different measurement systems. Regardless, Annie Hawkins Turner, who was also known by the pseudonym Norma Stitt, yeah, that's pretty good, has turned her massive bosom into a success story. She's held the Guinness Book of World Records title since 1999. Each of her breasts come in at a whopping 65 pounds each, and they also continue to grow at 4.5 feet long. How are they still developing? She's been diagnosed with gigantomastia, a condition that involves slow, progressive growth of breast tissue. Despite her condition and probably aching back, she has met the love of her life, Alan, a former Air Force officer who is 20 years her senior, and who loves her for who she is. According to Annie, despite the age gap, we got on really well. He boosted my confidence, continually told me I was beautiful, and accepted me and my kids. Let's do Miscellaneous 1 for 800. You can get a degree in bra studies in this Eastern country. The correct answer would be China. China has had an objective of breaking down stereotype barriers and gaining a deeper understanding of lingerie. They've taken the lead in offering a specialized degree program in bra studies. This major can be pursued at the Suzhou University in Jiangsu province. The curriculum is designed to delve into the history, design, technology, and culture surrounding bras and underwear. According to my source here, the field of bra studies aims to combine fashion, cultural studies, textile engineering, and marketing to explore the multifaceted nature of undergarments. It provides students with an opportunity to critically analyze the social, psychological, and economic significance of bras' impact on body image, and the role of lingerie in women's empowerment. So we can make jokes all day long, but at the end of the day, the goal is admirable. Miscellaneous 2 for 200. True or false? Breast milk is sweeter than cow milk.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
That is true. Breast milk has approximately 65% more sugar, in the form of lactose, than regular cow's milk. But before you call up your girlfriend, you should know that it also has 66% less protein. So for you gym bros out there, you probably just stick to regular milk for now. Next, we have Famous Breasts for 600. In this category, we have several famous women in various industries who have made their cup sizes public. I don't write this with any disrespect or intend to breach privacy. This is all public information. First up, Christina Aguilera. What is her cup size? That would be an E cup. If you need a refresher on how bra sizes are measured, a United States E means there are 5 inches or 12.7 centimeters of difference between the bust size and the band size. E is also known as double D. Keep that in mind for later. It's important. Let's take ancient coconuts for 600. In this century in Venice, legislation required prostitutes to stand on a certain bridge and to uncover their breasts. The answer is the 16th century. The law was created to prevent the prostitutes from dressing like men to appeal to prospective gay clientele. Pretty crazy. Back to Men's Choice 400. Women look at boobs just as much as men do. True or false? Yep, this is actually true according to several sources. Now, I want to stress that this isn't an excuse for men to just do whatever they want, because objectification is wrong under any circumstance. But it's an interesting finding nonetheless. According to this actually real study, though the men in the study exhibited such visual behavior consistently, the researchers found that women's eye patterns were actually similar to men's. However, male participants regarded the curvaceous women more positively than women with fewer curves, whereas female participants viewed these women similarly. We do have a slightly different pattern for men than women, but when we looked at their overall dwell times, how long they focused on each body part, we found the exact same effects for both groups. Women, we think, often do it for social comparison purposes. So while men might do it with different intentions, or unintentionally, women's gazes are being drawn to that area too. Look, ask any historian, boobs just have that power. Power! Another famous breasts for 200. Katy Perry. Unsurprisingly, she has also made her cup size public. What is it? A 32D. That's a band size of 32 and a difference of 4 inches or 10 centimeters. You can see how an inch of difference can make all the difference when it comes to apparent size. Regardless of that, it's easy to shift the outward appearance of your chest through certain things like baggy clothing and padded bras. But that's a video for another day. Ancient coconuts for 1,000. Diane de Poitiers, sure, the mistress of Henry II, supposedly washed her breasts in which liquids? The answer is gold, rainwater, and so's milk. If you got at least one of them, give yourself the points. Supposedly, this was done in order to enhance the beauty of her chest. Although given the current economy and the going rates for gold, last time I checked,
and there's no money in here!
I would not recommend you try this one at home. Let's move on to Nipples 101 for 600. Which of these is not a type of nipple? Inverted, flat, puffy, or lateral? The correct answer is lateral. I thought that one was pretty clever. Sounds legit, right? The official extended list of nipple types include protruding, puffy, hairy, inverted, flat, and bumpy nipples, or a combination of some of those. Nipples are not always consistent. Actually, the prevalence of inverted nipples in Rule 34 warrants a video of its own. Thankfully, the appearance of nipples usually makes no difference in how they function, and it poses no risks. That said, if the nipples are bigger than average, inverted or flat, a baby might have trouble latching onto them.
I want milk.
A medical professional can offer advice and help develop techniques to encourage the baby to latch. Miscellaneous 1. The study of the breast is also known as what? The answer we're looking for is senology. This term comes from the word seno, which is bosom, in both Italian and Spanish. According to this medical source, a senologist is a doctor, usually specialized in oncology, who deals in the study of diseases that affect the breast, with a focus on cancers that affect this part of the body. So it's a study of the breast. This is true, but it specifically studies breast cancer and other diseases that involve this organ, so it's probably not as fun as it sounds. A pretty commendable field of research, though. Let's do ancient coconuts for 200. During the Renaissance, people widely believed that a mother's milk was actually what liquid? That would be, brace yourself, vaginal blood. Vaginal. It's vaginal blood. I learned my lesson. Okay. Yes, As crazy as it sounds, people thought that the blood would move through the womb and transform into milk before it got to the breasts. What? I'm genuinely at a loss for words for why they thought that, but I digress. Back to Nipples 101 for 800. This is the medical term for a third nipple. That would be a supernumerary nipple. Accessory nipple or ectopic nipple would also have been accepted. One extra nipple is a fairly common occurrence, and we've observed up to 8 extra nipples. These nipples don't look like complete nipples, and unfortunately, they don't come with extra breasts. They're more so tiny bumps that you might mistake for acne or a big mole. Third nipples are usually harmless and not a cause for concern. However, if you have one, you should keep up with regular checkups and your healthcare provider. That way, they can monitor your condition for any changes that may indicate an issue. Because, as we know, any bump or lump should be checked out by a doctor. Supernumerary nipples don't usually require treatment, but your provider can remove a third nipple through surgery. How about miscellaneous 1 for 200? For most women, one breast is larger than the other. Is this typically the left or the right breast? It's usually the left breast. If one of your breasts is bigger than the other, you're in good company, because breast asymmetry is so common, there's even a saying in the plastic surgery world. Breasts are sisters, not twins. Kinda the same for the balls, actually. Asymmetrical means there's a difference in volume, direction, size, any variable that dictates how the breast looks. Hot take, but I think it adds a lot of realism to their appearance. You ever watch porn where the boobs are perfectly round and symmetrical? It always distracts from the rest of the movie. Another miscellaneous 1 for 800. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, in 2013, a person used their nipples to lift a large weight. Was this in the class of 30 pounds, 70 pounds, 90 pounds, or 130 pounds? The correct answer is 70 pounds, specifically 71.87 pounds or 32.6 kilograms. For reference, that's about the weight of a small bale of hay, a medium-sized sea turtle, or a 7-year-old child. Side note, you ever try to lift a bale of hay? Fellow Ohioans know that shit is hard. It's one of the most awkward things to carry ever. Anyway, this feat was performed by The Baron at Bush Hall, London, UK on July 19th, 2013. Ancient coconuts for 400. Hey, look at that! It's time for the Daily Double, or as we like to call it, the Double D. The founders of this ancient country were raised and suckled by a female wolf, gaining predatory and warlike characteristics from the wolf's milk. Ah, the original furries. Which country was this? The correct answer would be Rome. Romulus and Remus. But this is not something relegated to the past, no. Rome still depicts this act to this day, and its marketing? Well, this source just says, Rome is still represented in the image of Romulus and Remus suckling at the wolf's teats. Anyway, if you got that one right, go ahead and double the points on that one, so 800. Moving on, we have another famous breasts for 400. A name we can all recognize, Pamela Anderson. What is her size? Just double D, actually, that's all it specifies, which we learned you can also refer to as E. Let's take miscellaneous 2 for 600. This was the year 2 women created the first sports bra by stitching 2 male jock straps together. Your options are 1945, 1953, 1977, or 1985. If you said 1953, you're incorrect. It's 1977. These 2 women were running around 30 miles each week. Damn, seriously? That's awesome. They discussed the lack of any garments that adequately provided chest support during athletic activities. They also made a list of qualities such a garment should have, including stable straps, no seams or clasps that could chafe, breathable fabric, and enough compression to prevent excessive movement. They then asked a designer to help bring their idea to life. This guy sewed 2 jock straps together and bam, sports bra. Patented in 1979, the sports bra was commercialized as the jog bra, featuring a seamless, compressing front panel, non-chafing exterior seams, crossing elastic straps, and a wide elastic rib band. That's a lot of words that I do not understand. The sports bra has had an immeasurable cumulative impact in the lives of ordinary women, Runner's World magazine reported. One of these two women is quoted saying, "Without a garment designed to support our bodies properly, millions of women wouldn't have taken up running." Okay, dude, calm down. You didn't invent running. Still cool, I suppose. Nipples 101 for 1,000. The average nipple is said to be as tall as this common insect. That would be a ladybug. Really think about it for a second, kinda makes perfect sense. I've got some other interesting size facts here. The average areola has a diameter of 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches, which is a little smaller than a golf ball. The nipple has a diameter of 1.3 centimeters or 1/2 inch, which is similar to the width of a AA battery. And the average nipple height of a ladybug is 0.9 centimeters or 0.35 inches. Let's take a men's choice for 200. A published study found a link between socioeconomic class and a preference of boobs versus butts. The ultimate question. In the study, the rich men were found to favor what? It's actually butts. Yeah, it's boobs Jeopardy, but I thought I'd throw you a bit of a curveball there. I think it's important to read the report on this study straight out so you can see what they mean. According to Wiggins and his colleagues, preference for the figure with large breasts, large buttocks, and large legs was associated with a need for achievement, while those who preferred the figure with small breasts, buttocks, and legs were not cynical about authority and reported coming from an upper-class background. Preference for the standard figure was associated with heterosexuality and a tendency to be disorganized in personal habits. Wiggins and his colleagues also examined the differences between preferences for individual body parts, finding that those who preferred large breasts tended to be non-nurturant and independent, while those who preferred small breasts tended to be religious fundamentalists, mildly depressed, and nurturant. So, I did simplify this one a bit. In truth, the findings really indicate that the more well-off you are, the less you seem to value relative size. All of a sudden, the Wolf of Wall Street starting to make sense.
You will?
Now we have miscellaneous 2 for 400. Breast milk exclusively exits through the nipple. True or false? False, actually. Breasts actually have 10 to 20 perforations in the skin, referred to as nipple pores, from which the milk exits the body. When breast milk is pumped, it can either look like a single stream or be visibly coming from different holes in the nipple. So it still comes out of the nipple, but it's not one continuous stream, really. If you're like me and you don't have much experience with these sorts of things, all of this starts to paint a more realistic picture of boobs in general. They're not really like how they're displayed in a lot of straight porn. This might be a weird way to put it, but there's a lot of finer details that dethrone their mythical status, if that makes sense. And I can appreciate that. Back to ancient coconuts for 800. This New York City socialite invented and patented the first modern bra using 2 silk handkerchiefs and a pink ribbon. That would be Mary Phelps Jacob. And you might at this point say, well, how was I supposed to know this random person? Well, that's why it's for 800, dummy. Also called the backless bra, her invention was lightweight, soft, comfortable, and naturally separated the breasts. She eventually sold the patent to the Warner Brothers Corset Company. Men's choice for 1,000. What is the average American woman's cup size? The answer is a C cup. At least, according to this source, it is. I stated in a previous video that it was a 34 double D, but now I believe that number may be due to the myth of men exclusively wanting double D cups, which means more women will incorrectly buy these bras because they think it's what men want. Similar to how a lot of men will incorrectly measure their penises and will arrive at, oh, I'm 8 inches, when really you're just 5. Now on to famous breasts for 800. A very famous set, Dolly Parton. If you're outside of the US and you don't know who Dolly Parton is, just imagine American country music and all the culture distills down into this one individual. Best way I can describe her. Definitely think big. It's 40 double D, which surprised me because they seem to be a bit bigger than that. You do have to remember, though, that we're measuring size by the distance between the top of the breast and the chest. So not all double Ds are the same. Very important. If you're a girl and one of your friends claims to have a size like this and it makes you jealous, remember that fact. Boobs are very relative when it comes to size, and double Ds are not going to look the same on everyone. Miscellaneous 2 for 800. The first breast augmentation surgery took place in this year, 1940, 1945, 1962, 1988. The correct answer is 62. First introduced by Thomas Cronin and Frank Giro in 1962, they were manufactured with a smoother outer surface, a thick silicone elastomer filled with thick, viscous, I'm not even going to try and say that word, silicone gel, I think you get it. First boob job is 1962. Let's finish off Nipples 101 with 400. Nipple stimulation has had what pregnancy-related side effect? Inducing labor is the answer we're looking for. Nipple stimulation is effective in inducing labor by releasing oxytocin, studies have found. And for the best results, you want to mimic a baby's latch as soon as you can. You can use your fingers, a breast pump, or even your partner's mouth to stimulate the nipples. In most research studies, the participants have used their fingers.
Where are your fingers?
I should add, if you're trying to induce labor, you might want to clear the rest of your evening in case it actually works, somehow. Men's choice for 800. The weight of the average breast is how many pounds? 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or 4 to 5? It's actually the lowest of these, 1 to 2, or about the weight of a loaf of bread. Yeah, you can imagine the back problems as you get heavier. Poor Annie, seriously. Hey, speaking of which, if those weighed 65 pounds each, that's literally 130 pounds on her chest. That's 5 gold bars, or almost 2 jackhammers, hanging down from her chest. God help this poor woman. Let's go with miscellaneous 2 for 1,000. This underground market for what product uses the phrase breast is best? The breast milk market uses that term. Sarah Kame, a researcher at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio who has studied the breast milk market, said her team has counted tens of thousands of posts per day offering to buy, sell, or share breast milk on shady websites, which offer access to the internet age's version of the wet nurse. A wet nurse is someone whose job is literally to just breastfeed someone's baby. It goes without saying that some women just have more of a capability to do that than others. I know enough to know that some moms feel this deep-seated shame for not being able to produce milk for their child. And I can't pretend to understand that struggle, but I can empathize with you on that one. I don't think you should feel ashamed. It's a part of your body you were born with, and whose size you can't control, so there's no need to feel ashamed. There is some more information on this underground breast milk market though, because I find it a fascinating subject. This is effectively an underground market that is not regulated by federal law and most states. The milk is unscreened and unpasteurized, which is why both the Food and Drug Administration and the American Academy of Pediatrics advise against using it. While research shows that screened and pasteurized donor milk is good for babies who are born premature, very little research exists about its effect on full-term babies. But the internet is the only place where some women can find what they see as a critical elixir for their newborn babies. They take part in a complicated calculus, often trusting altruistic strangers, and the advantages of a mother's milk, any mother's milk, over mainstream medical advice. In any case, if you have to use formula to feed your child, I think it's totally okay. Let's do the last of the famous breasts for 1,000. Calm down, gentlemen. Calm down. I would expect a few of you to already know this answer. I really don't even need to show the picture, because, let's be real, you already know what they look like. Now, take a guess. The answer is 34F. Yep, pretty damn big. And our last fact of night. Survival rates from breast cancer have been steadily declining. True or false? Thankfully, this is false. They've actually been on the rise. According to a recent analysis, US breast cancer mortality declined by 42%, averting greater than 490,000 deaths between 1989 and 2021 because of advances in screening, mammography, and treatment. And that's why it's important to check for lumps, because this kind of stuff does happen. You know, it's easy for me to have all this fun talking about boobs for half an hour, because I don't have to deal with them. But really, they're kind of a pain in the ass, I've heard. So pour one out for the Double D girls who have to actually struggle with these things. So here's the point scale where you can see where you rank. 3,000, tough coconuts, you suck. 6,000, mid milkers. You did okay. 9,000, nice rack. Hey.
That's pretty good.
12,000, my boobs watch Rick and Morty. You are a very high IQ individual. 15,000, master of tits. You got a near perfect score, which is very concerning. If you got 18,000, then I'm gonna call you my dick is 18 inches long. And I know you're lying because you didn't actually get all of them right. That's right. Mia Khalifa is an E cup, not an F cup. Got him. So, how did you do? You probably did pretty shit if I had to guess. That's fine, not my problem. Thanks for playing. You can join our Discord server to continue the conversation. We also have an Instagram, Lavender Paints 1, where I post the occasional drawing of candles as well as my other OCs. And I do mean occasionally, like once a month. Hey, I'm a busy guy, but I do try. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you all to the fan artists out there. You guys are especially awesome. And remember, I love you all. Good night.